Pues sean bienvenidos a esta charla informal. Nos acompaña Jeff Carbane. Él es el director asociado de la parte de admisiones en la MIT. Como todos ustedes saben, se trata de una universidad muy prestigiada a nivel mundial. Está rankeada entre las 5 mejores universidades del mundo. Y él va a venir a platicarnos sobre cómo es ese proceso de administración, de lo que es admitir a un joven aspirante a estudiar un MBA. Estamos listos para recibirlos y Jeff, quiero darte la más cordial de las bienvenidas a nuestra Facultad de Contaduría Pública y Administración de la Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León. Jeff nunca había venido aquí a Monterrey, es la primera vez y él solamente conoce el Distrito Federal y ahora ya probó el cabrito y la carne asada. Era obligado que conociera esa degustación tan típica de aquí del norte. ¿Te gustó, verdad, Jeff?
Mucho.
Le voy a pasar la palabra a nuestro secretario de lo que es la vinculación internacional, el maestro Julio Toy, para que haga la presentación formal.
Well, we will continue the presentation in English, so I assume all of you actually will get that. So again, we're very happy, we're very honored having you here, Jeff. I met Jeff like 4 years ago when he was working at the Department of Admissions at the Fletcher School of Diplomacy in Boston, Massachusetts. So the mechanics for this presentation will be, Jeff's going to talk a little bit about the experience of MIT, the Sloan School of Business at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology that happens to have one of the very best MBAs in the world. And then he's going to talk about the MBA program. But most importantly, what are the kind of the requisites? I mean, what a school like the MIT expects from you. And then he's going to talk about the Master of Finance, which is a master's degree that you can apply right after your bachelor's degree. And then, and most importantly, a Q&A session, a session of questions and answers. And when we expect, obviously, your participation, and then a video. So, Jeff, thank you very much for being here and for giving us your time.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm going to be a cop-out and just start with the video, because the video will summarize a lot of what I'll talk about. And I've been in your seat many times, and I know how boring it can be to listen to someone talk. So I'll let you watch a nice video. I'll talk for a few minutes about MIT Sloan, the MBA program, the MFin program. I'll even talk a little bit about some other schools that might be of interest to you. And then I would love to open up to question and answer, because I feel like that's what's going to be best for you, to get all the questions that you might have answered. Can everyone understand me?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I tend to speak fast, so I'm trying to not speak very fast. So, lo siento if I do. You can play the video.
Knowledge really kind of starts here, the seed of knowledge, and then spreads out from this place to all over the world.
What I always tell students is, look, when you get out there in the real world, you're not going to have organizational problems, people problems, marketing problems, operations problems, and finance problems. You're just going to have problems.
The great thing about MIT Sloan and MIT Sloan students is that students really are doers, right? They're very proactive, they come here and they know how to get things done.
Many people comment on the fact that MIT students are extremely bright and very, very entrepreneurial. But I think that until they come to MIT, they don't really understand just what that means.
Welcome to the 22nd annual MIT 100K Elevator Pitch Competition.
The MIT 100K is an entrepreneurial competition designed to bring together the entrepreneurial community of not just MIT, but the greater Boston area.
We have students working on great technologies in their labs, are looking at ways to commercialize them, and the 100K provides them with a platform to start thinking about how they can go about doing that.
So you start with the elevator pitch.
And how it's going to change the way you interact with all your smart devices.
It's a fun 60-second pitch, get your idea out there. And then the big one, the business planning contest in the spring. get a team together to help you take that idea from what was in your little executive summary, tear it apart, and make it ready for May when the finale is. That culminates in roughly 800-900 people in the Conferencia auditorium, and ultimately giving away that $100,000 prize.
The winner of the grand prize is free ticket.
There's many ways in which you can pursue your ideas and make sure that you're really making the most of the opportunities that are here.
When you put yourself out there, even as a first-year student who's been around for a few weeks, you start coaching alums at these various firms that you're interested in working at, they're very receptive to speaking to you. Their advice was absolutely invaluable. And just tapping into that network, whether it's the internal one of students or the external one of alumni, is truly key in being able to career transition.
Prior to coming to Sloan, I was working as a brand manager for an asset management company, and I was doing strategic marketing for them. And I think one of the draws to Sloan was definitely the focus on quantitative. I come from a finance background, obviously, working for the asset management firm, but also wanting a marketing twist to it, as well as the entrepreneurship and innovation that will help me transition into more of an entrepreneurial role post-graduation.
I have an engineering background, so obviously MIT was an easy choice from that standpoint. I wanted to go to a place that had strong ties in the technical and engineering community, as well as a strong MBA program.
Everyone that I talked to prior to coming to Sloan, while I was investigating which school I wanted to go to, they were by far the most down-to-earth people. They really wanted to help me, and I really got the feel for a collaborative, shared experience.
Part of the skills that we're really teaching are the skills of how you work with your team, so that it's not just my own lessons learned, it's something that we want to embed as a practice for our team going forward.
In terms of community life, that's probably my favorite aspect about coming to Sloan. It's actually the reason that I decided to come to Sloan to begin with. When I came on campus, everybody that I met was awesome. Everybody's so warm and friendly.
Some of it has like an academic component, but believe me, there's a huge social component to it too. School parties, house parties, barbecues.
In terms of more fun things, I think the C functions that are cultural events every week or so. It's a great way of interacting with people from Sloan and getting to know them at a very different level than the level that you get to know them in class. And Sloan is not only, I think, about school, it's also about developing relationships with the people that are here. And I think there are a lot of opportunities to do that, and it's great.
You have the opportunity to come to Sloan. Come here.
Now, especially come see the new building, it's awesome. You need to do that to truly understand the breadth and impact that the program will have.
When I think about my classmates, and I think about what they're doing in the world, I think one of the things that's exciting is every classmate is looking to make a difference where they're at.
We have a great deal to accomplish, and the world is waiting, so let's get started.
So, thank you again for coming, and thanks for watching that short little video about MIT and all the benefits that the Institute has to offer. So, I work for the business school at MIT, which is called MIT Sloan School of Management. And the thing that is different about MIT and the business school at MIT is that we are very much part of the greater institution. So a lot of schools you'll find will be just separate. Your business school focused only on business, that doesn't collaborate with the rest of the university. A place like MIT really takes advantage of the institute as a whole. So the engineering school, the real estate center, the Lugano Center, the media lab, all the different parts of economics, all the different parts of the school, the business school students will take advantage of and collaborate with to do a lot of great things. Every school in the US that you may look at will have different niches. So some may be more known as marketing or finance or entrepreneurial. Regardless of their niche, they all are great programs that will help you get to where you want to go. So if you think a school is just a marketing school, they're still going to have finance, they're still going to have all these different areas. A place like MIT Sloan, we're known for entrepreneurship and finance. That said, we're very big in healthcare and marketing and all the other areas as well. But when people hear MIT, they automatically think entrepreneurship and finance because it's a birthplace of modern finance. Our program is a bit different in that we have more than just an MBA program at the school. So we have 2 executive programs that are for people with 15 to 20 years of experience. We have the MBA program, which is a 2-year program, a 1-year Master of Finance, and also a 1 year of management. For you guys, most people in this room would be more interested in the 2-year MBA program or the 1-year Master of Finance program. The big difference between those 2 programs is that the Master of Finance program is for people that are just starting out in their careers. So half of the class is coming directly from undergraduate studies, and half of the class is coming with about 18 months of work experience. So people, for you guys, which I've heard you work in your last year and take a lot of classes, if you're working in a finance-related field or background or a quantitative field, then that would count towards a lot of work experience that you have. And that if you're interested in a career in finance, most of these people in this Master of Finance program are doing a variety of things, working in securities, working in consulting, it runs the gamut, any area of finance that you'd like to work in. The MBA program, typically people are coming with an average of 5 years of work experience. That's the average. There are people coming with 1 or 2. A lot of people have 3 and 4, and average is 5. So don't let averages scare you away. It's just a general ballpark. But the overall theme with both the MBA and the MFin at a place like MIT is that there's a lot of collaboration. Collaboration across the different degree programs and collaboration across the institute as a whole. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, if you're interested in starting a company, it's a great place to be. The Entrepreneurship Center is amazing. There's a lot of cool things going on there. Engineers, economists, business people coming together to start companies. Every year they're putting out many new companies each year. There's the 100K business plan competition each year that's giving away over $250,000 each year towards people starting companies. In the summer, 12 companies are chosen to be incubated each year, where you're getting funding for the summer, a living stipend, and at the end of the year, an extra $20,000 towards that business. So there's a lot of great benefits there. The other thing that's nice about both programs are, there's a few key things. One, the benefit of being at the institute, which I just mentioned, entrepreneurship. The Media Lab, which is a place where they're doing crazy ways, everything from working with Legos to working on prosthetic limbs to working on creating new technologies for holograms. Basically, your phone will be your hologram in your hand. They have models of that now, which is just crazy to see where things are like 10, 15 years down the road. So things like that you can take advantage of by taking classes in. The other thing that's nice about a place like MIT is you can take classes outside of just the business school at any of the MIT schools or any of the Harvard graduate schools as well. The third thing, I'm going through this quickly because I know you guys can see. What is it? Is it Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. It's a long Monday, right? So the other thing, faculty. All of the business schools that you look at in the U.S. will have, and I'm sure other countries too, have world-renowned faculty, people that are leaders in their field that are doing a lot of great things. The difference about MIT is that those faculty members are the ones teaching the class, no teaching assistants. So when you sign up for a class with Andrew Lowe, who was just ranked as Time Magazine's 100 most influential people for his financial models that is using to help find a cure for cancer, Time Magazine rated, he's the one teaching the class. He's the one you're meeting with for office hours. The faculty are extremely established, but they're especially down-to-earth and friendly as well. You can approach them, you can chat with them. A lot of students use them for their career searches, for internship searches. And a lot of students come back to campus after they graduate to actually meet with them and keep in touch with them as well. The fourth thing that I'll just mention about Sloan that's different is our career services. So business school is expensive. Leaving the country to travel to another country is also expensive. Some schools offer a lot of scholarships, some schools don't. Some schools have certain programs. For example, our Master of Finance program, we get more scholarships for it than our MBA program. But regardless of that fact, we have the highest job placement post-graduation for MBA programs in the United States at the time of graduation and 2 months later. And the average starting salary is quite high as well. But when you're on campus, you have a career services network that's there to help you. They're not going to find you a job, but they're there to assist you in the job search process. So from day one, you'll be meeting with them to help come up with a plan. Narrow your focus. What is it that you want to do? What industries do you want to work with? They'll coach you for interview prep. They'll help you with your resumes. There's over 200 companies recruiting on campus each year, and and over 60% of the student body are getting job offers just from those companies recruiting on campus. Then you have the extra 122,000 alumni. And the alumni are so willing to help people find jobs. So the career network opportunities are great coming out of a place like MIT Sloan, just because of the network and their services. How you prepare to apply to a business school, any business school in the United States, or in a place like MIT, and the Master of Finance program. One, get good grades. Study now, because it will matter later. Every school you apply to later, your undergraduate grades will matter. So make sure you pay attention to class and study and get good grades now. That's one way. Two, in the US, we have a thing called standardized tests, GRE or GMAT. I'm not fun taking them. I spoke English growing up, and I still didn't like taking them. So they're not fun for a lot of people. So do your best to prepare for those ahead of time. Because some schools will use those purely for scholarships, merit-based scholarships. So if you want to get money to some schools, that's one way to do so, is to score high on tests. So think of that, that's just one piece of it. Your GRE, your GMAT, your GPA. Those are three things that are going to come into play. The fourth thing is your work experience. So when you're in school, if you're working, that's great. If you're doing research for a professor, that's great. A lot of people from other parts of the world will do if they have the summer off, they'll do an internship for 3 months, whether it's in their home country or abroad, and work for a company in an area that interests them. So working at a bank, working in finance, trying to do that, whether it's over the summer or during the school year while you're working and going to school. If you're choosing a job that is relevant to what it is you want to do in the future, that's highly beneficial to your application down the road. So keep that in mind. There are a lot of prestigious schools in the US. MIT is just one of them. And MIT is a reality for many people. It's a small school, but they have a lot of Mexicans coming every year, and we would like a lot more. It's a great place to study and learn. But also keep in mind, the reality of it is it's a small school. There are a lot of other schools out there for students. And whether it's an MBA program or a policy program like Julio did, there's a lot of great alternatives. Law school, business school, policy school. And there's a lot of different levels of schools that all have great outcomes as well. So even just in Boston alone, aside from Harvard and MIT, Boston College, Boston University, Babson College, Bentley University, these are all great business schools that people are graduating from and getting great jobs. Many people that come to a place like MIT and these other schools, when they graduate, some want to return to their home country, some want to stay in the US and work. It's many of our students get sponsored and stay in the US. Do that for a few years, transferred. 2 of our Mexican students last year, one's in Korea this year because he took a job with Samsung in an awesome development role. He's great, Monterey actually, great guy. And he's like, I'll try Korea. I've never lived in Asia. Let's try it for a few years, and then I'll go back to Mexico. It's a cool experience. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can take advantage of post-graduation from these programs. But keep in mind, there's a lot of programs to choose from, and the best thing to do is to visit and or learn as much as you can about the school through the web, through the alumni, and through the current students that are from Monterey, for example. Every school is very different. When you walk on one campus, it's a very different feel than another. So you might think you love Harvard or MIT, but you might hate it when you walk in the doors. You might love walking in the doors at Stanford. It's a pure feeling that you really need to just feel out to make an educated decision. Don't just go off of names. There's a lot of programs out there that may not have that name, but may have a better benefit for you, including a lot of scholarship aid. So at the Master of Finance program is a really great program. It's only 1 year. It starts in July and ends the following June. You have 2 practicums that happen because you don't have a summer internship. You have 2 practicums, a finance research practicum and a symposium that you can take advantage of, where you're actually consulting for a finance company during the school year. So Barclays and Citibank and State Street and all these big firms are coming in and hiring our students to help them solve a problem they're having. And you'll be working with them throughout a semester to help solve that. It turns into job offers for some students. It's a great resume builder for others. But this program is very flexible, just like the MBA program. Only a third of the curriculum is designated for you, and you have 2/3 that you can choose. You can take courses as well outside of MIT at other programs at MIT, as well as Harvard Business School. And it's a great program if you are really interested in finance. It's geared towards people that want to go into finance long term, that have a bit of finance background, and it's a quant heavy program. So for those of you that are interested in that and want to do something directly after you graduate or within a year after you graduate, that's a great option for you as well.
I think we covered a
Yeah.
lot of ground with this kind of amazing.
Amazing.
But most importantly, I think it's one interaction. So we'd like to have a Q&A session, and I would like to encourage you actually to ask Jeff any questions you might have. I think it's very important for you to ask because this is a unique chance we're going to have a guy from MIT at our school. So I pretty much push you out to ask as many questions as you want. So I think if somebody can help me with the microphone, I think we can use that one right there. So who wants to break the ice first?
First of all, thank you for coming all the way from the MIT. Could you please tell us a little bit about expenses? How much is tuition, living,
That's usually the question we never get in presentations. Surprisingly, I notice I can't believe more people don't ask it, but it's a good question to ask. So, it isn't cheap. Each program is a little different, and business schools in the States vary. A place like MIT, we say that each student should estimate around 90 to 100,000 US dollars a year. So for the MBA program, it would be 2 years, so about $200,000 for 2 years. The Master of Finance program, 85 to 90,000 for 1 year. That said, there are scholarship opportunities that everyone's reviewed for, so merit-based scholarship, purely merit-based. Other schools, for example, Harvard Business School also does need-based scholarships. They give a lot of money away. We don't give as much away. I want to be honest. There's other ways to get money, however, through outside scholarships, both at other centers at MIT. So there's a Legatum Center, where if you're interested in working for a company or starting a company that you're going to take back to a developing economy, they give pretty large scholarships. Also, we offer loans where you do not need a U.S. co-signer. So if you're admitted to the program, you automatically will get money to come, whether it's personal funds, loans, or scholarship.
And I wanted to add, actually, my own experience, me as a poor Mexican applying to a also very expensive school in Boston. When you apply to a school like that, don't even think about the money when you're applying. You just apply, you get really good grades, you do your tests, GMAT, get really good scores, your TOEFL, letter of recommendations, essays, but don't have the money issue in your mind. If you get the letter of acceptance from a school such as MIT, I think you will get tons of money. Conacyt and CUNET and Banco de Mexico and Fulbright, they will be eager of funding you if you get a letter of acceptance from MIT. So don't feel dismissed or discouraged that you will have the money to do that. I mean that will come. I think.
You hope.
Well, hi Jeff, my name is Maggie and I'm studying international business. I'm currently in the last semesters and I'm really interested in studying my MBA in the MIT. But I would like to know, what would you recommend as an adding value for a Mexican student in the MIT? What is the MIT looking for?
Sure. So one thing I would say is people always ask me when they should apply. Some people, it's like in their just to start, people are always wondering, when's the best time to apply? And the time to apply is when you feel like you're ready to take your knowledge to that next level. a lot of people are more successful in the admissions process if they have work experience. So for you, I would say, graduate. Are you if you're currently working in a field that interests you and you want to stay in that area, then stay with that job. If there's something that you're more passionate about that you'd rather do, then try something new and get a job in that area to gain some more knowledge. The more knowledge you gain and the more experience you get, the better off you'll be in the classroom. You'll be able to relate to the coursework a lot better. You'll be able to give a lot to your classmates, and you'll be able to learn a lot more from the program and the curriculum. So that's one thing. The second thing is people are always wondering, should I do extracurricular activities, community service, these types of things. And that's totally up to you. Some people don't have the bandwidth in their jobs to do that. Some, for example, some bankers are working very, very long days and can't add that in. That's not a problem. We don't hold that against people. So anything that you think will benefit you and your growth, go for it, do. We're not in the business of telling people what we think is better for them than not. Because there's people coming from a variety of backgrounds that are doing such different things. It's just who's the most interesting overall.
Levanten la mano los que tienen experiencia laboral en este momento. Levanten su mano.
Wow, that's good, yeah. Very good.
Entonces, ya tenemos una cabeza.
Sí, uno.
Es para que se animen, ¿sí? Para que se entusiasmen.
Up front, yeah.
My name is Jose. I am on the 9th semester of the Bachelor in International Business. And actually, I have some questions related about the things that you have already told. You have said that there are some special benefits when you are developing a new company or developing a new entrepreneurship or something. So I have been working in a project for over 2 years. And even though I don't have the greatest grades, I mean, I have to be honest, but I want to know what's the best approach that a guy like me that has an entrepreneurship experience, that you have already said that the MIT is an entrepreneurship university in the US. So I have already been searching, doing some research among the various ones, I mean, Stanford, Harvard, MIT, Berkeley, so on, right? So you have said something that made a click on me, that you have said that there are some special funds for people like when they are trying to develop this new company and after that come back so they can apply what they have learned. So can you tell me something about it? I mean, something else?
Sure. So I don't know if I fully understand your sheet. Do you want me to tell you how to bolster your application because you have bad grades, or do you want me to tell you about specific people that have done things at the school and how they get it? Or both?
Both.
Okay. One, I'm not in the business of looking for reasons to reject people. When I see something that's weaker, I'll look for a positive in another area. So if you don't have the best grades in coursework, then I might look a little harder on your test scores. If you have weaker test scores, I might look at your grades to help balance those out. If your GRE or GMAT's lower, then I'll see if you've taken some quantitative coursework. That's how we sort of play that game, because we want to make sure that you'll be successful in the curriculum. The second thing, we do in our application for both MPhil and MBA, we'd like to get to know US people. So we have an optional supplemental essay. And it can be an essay, it could be a PowerPoint, it could be a video, it could be anything you want. And you can tell us more about you. So you can expand upon something that's in the essays, or you can let us know something more about yourself. And that essay stemmed from my boss, who was interviewing in Shanghai, and he was almost done with the interview, and the girl was fine. Probably a wait list, just average. And then at the end, we always say, you know, is there anything else you'd like us to know? And she said, well, I'm a professional ballroom dancer. She pulled out her portfolio. Her whole demeanor changed. She was very flat affect in the interview, but she just came alive when we talked about this. And my boss was like, this is great. Like, we put this, and he admitted her, and she's an awesome asset to the school. But So that's the type of thing. It could be anything. Your businesses, it could be your artistic side, it could be anything. So that optional supplement, let's say, it's optional, but utilize it. It can definitely help. It usually when I was reading, it always helped me push people over to invite them to interview. However, remember that while the wow factor is great and exciting, it's still a professional application, and there were some wow factors, like keep your clothes on, use your professional judgment, because it can also hurt you. Second, with a place like MIT, once a month there's a hackathon where the campus comes together and people pitch ideas and people just come together and work on the idea for the weekend. There's people that are coming to school with ideas, with companies that have just been started, with companies that are not in the ball rolling. The Entrepreneurship Center has over 25 entrepreneurs in residence. They're there to mentor you and work with you during the year. One of the guys in the video, shaved head sort of towards the end, he and 3 friends got chosen for an incubator. He used to be in the Army, and they developed, it's called bounce imaging, and it's a ball that they developed, and they came in Financial Times top 20 growth companies. Actually, 3 of the companies from the incubator in one summer. 3 of the 20, and we only had 12 at the school each summer, came in the top 20 growth companies. And this one was for people in Army or fire or police. It's a ball that has cameras and heat detectors and sensors, and you just like throw it wherever, and it will film and do everything. So it's a really cool piece that they made. They were in the incubator over the summer. They didn't take a traditional internship. They had a stipend that they took off in the summer, and then they met all their goals, so they got an extra 20 grand towards that. Plus, the Cambridge Innovation Center is next door. It was founded by an MIT alum. And they have Venture Cafe Wednesdays where there's VCs coming in every Wednesday, listening to pitches, giving people money. There's a lot of great ways to get funding towards your companies while you're on campus.
All right, thank you.
Go. The other thing about MIT for both MFin and MBA, extremely flexible. We only have a 1-semester core, that's the biggest difference. 3 semesters, all your choice, you can do whatever you want. Second, action learning. There's these 13 labs, so if you want to expand upon a piece of an industry that you want to know more about, you can work on a lab in that. Where you're working for the semester with a company, a real company, consulting for them for the semester, and then going for 3 to 4 weeks overseas, wherever they're located, to help them work on a project on the ground. So global health delivery, finance, entrepreneurship, global entrepreneurship. Once again, about these experiences that are paid for as part of your curriculum. And then there's also a lot of fun that happens. The C functions used to be called consumption functions, but they thought that was politically incorrect, so they changed the name to cultural functions. But beer and food is still provided at those every week. And then in May, it used to be official by the school, it's not anymore, but they have about 300 kids rent sailboats and go down in teams of 6 and just sail the British Virgin Islands for 3 weeks and hang out. There's lots of things that are supported and funded by the school, treks and tours, so you can learn more about different cultures and different regions and set up meetings with companies. And there's some that are supported by just up to repay for some of them. Any other questions? Everyone has to interview too. So in order to be admitted, you must be invited to interview. And you interview for the MBA program in person, for the Master of Finance program, either in person or via Skype. And those interviews aren't there to trick you or scare you, it's just to get to know you and get a feel for you. And we only ask questions about your past. Our application is about your past and what you've done. Because we feel like the best predictor of your future success are your past experiences.
And by the way, Jeff is the one interviewing people in Mexico.
I do. I usually come down to Mexico because it's usually wintertime and it's warm here. It's nice to get away for a weekend.
Hi, my name is Adrian from 9th semester of Business and Special. Well, my question is, if I get into the MBA or the Master of Finance, if I have plenty of time to get a job over there, or is it possible for me? I don't know if I have to get a student visa or special permission to study over there, and if the migration or the state allows me to get a job and get to work over there as well.
So, when you're a student, you can work on campus. You can be a teaching assistant for faculty. Currently, the model of that for an MBA student. Currently, for the model of that is they discount tuition by half usually, depending on the number of credits and the hours. So it actually cuts a lot down on tuition. For Master of Finance students, you don't really have the time because you're not there long enough to actually get those jobs. During summer internships, you do have optional paid time where you can work and do summer internships through your visas that you'll get. And then certain, depending on what your status is, you can stay after.
But if I want to get a job related to what I'm studying in a private company, it's not possible, right?
While you're at Sloan? Or now?
No.
While you're studying at
I'm
school?
studying
No. You can do the projects through the classes, where you'll be working with them for a semester, but they're not paid. It's coursework where you're working with them, but it's a big resume builder.
Oh.
But in the summer, you can. Summer internships.
Even if I'm with a student visa, because as far as I know, the law over there in the USA doesn't allow any student that is not a US or American citizen to work over there.
So you can work on campus when you're a student?
Not on a private company.
As a student, you won't have time to work at a company during the school year. You would fail. Miserable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you can tell us a little bit about the workload. I mean, like just being a student at the MBA program, it's quite difficult. I just took one class at Sloan. I wanted to throw myself into the metro because it was devastating.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. You're going to be with a bunch of people doing the same things, and people from all different backgrounds. But it is a lot of work, a lot of group work, and there's a lot of fun to be had. So a lot of parties, a lot of events, a lot of travel that's included in the curriculum. So it just makes it very hard to balance your schedule. People usually say you can choose one of three things: parties, social, not necessarily all parties, but cultural, social, speakers, all of those things, schoolwork, and sleeping. So, correct. Summer is a break. The month of January, like basically December and January, you have off. So, there's lots of breaks in between, so you can get your breath. ¿Qué más? And it's okay if you don't have more questions. It will not be offended. But also, if you, my email address is jcarbone, C-A-R-B-O-N-E, @mit.edu. My name is Jeff Carbone. If you don't know that, you can Google Jeff Carbone MIT Sloan. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Shoot me an email at any time. So jcarbone @mit.edu. Super easy to remember, right? If you remember learning the word car and the word bone when you're in like whatever grades, easy. jcarbone @mit.edu. Happy to answer any questions. And also, if you guys are interested in receiving more information on either the Master of Finance or MBA, you can talk to Julio and he can send me a list and we'll put you on the list. And that way we'll know you came to this event too. So I'll check up on it.
You have a question?
Yes. Hello, my name is Natalia from 9th semester, and I have a question regarding the exams. Could you please repeat that part? Because I think that we are not very familiar with the American exams in the USA. I don't know how many did you mention besides the Skype interview?
Yeah, so there's the exams that we have that you have to take for any of most of the business schools are either the GMAT or the GRE. Those are two different exams. The GMAT is more typical business school. The GRE is more just general master's programs, but business schools accept them as well. So those are two that you can take. One of the two you have to take. And then for the Master of Finance program, you have to take the TOEFL, which is your test of English support leadership. You don't have to take that for the MBA program, because we judge you and we interview you.
So I have a question for you.
You just took the test more recently than I did.
I took a test more recently, yeah.
They're awful.
They're awful, yeah. I got a question for you because some people might think, they have this idea in mind that they leave college, the bachelor's degree, they join a master's degree here in Mexico, and then they think they have better chances to apply for state-of-the-art master's degrees such as the MIT. So do you think it's required to basically pursue a master's degree domestically, then to have better chances to apply for an MBA and MIT, for example? gives me like more chances to be accepted. Sure.
So that, did you all understand that question? Because that happens a lot. There's a lot of people that do come and apply that already have MBAs even, or other master's degrees, and that's great for some people. And then it's really an individual. I can't answer that because it's really up to you as an individual. If you think that you're going to benefit and maybe you'll not further after that Mexican degree, that's fine. We do admit people that have master's degrees. We look at it. We also keep in mind we do look at your undergraduate degree as well. And then there's people that we don't admit. It's more of the whole package. It's not just one piece that's going to make the difference. So it's all pieces, from your testing to your undergraduate grades to if you have a master's, great, but it doesn't matter, to your work experience. I focus on the work experience. You get some solid experience that's going to help your trajectory. Focus on that. You just yell it out, and I'll repeat it.
Thank you. I want to ask a couple of questions. One, how much does it help to have any kind of international experience, like traveling or studying abroad, having a job abroad? How well would it help you on the application? And the second one, do you have any kind of programs or programs in the future that will allow you to get a master's degree for being able to enter on the stock market or work on the stock market?
So, to answer your first question, it adds to your application. There are plenty of people who've never left their home country that we admit, and there are plenty of people that have the pieces. It just makes you a little different. So it's giving you great experiences, giving you great exposure. It depends how you want to play that up in your application, but it's not a shoe-in, and it's not gonna hurt people who don't have that. Second, I mean, there's a lot of people that go work in finance, banking, stocks when they graduate from the MBA program. Focus in finance, focus in that.
That's the most famous one? That's the most famous program?
At MIT, yeah.
So, would you like to say something before we make the room? Any advice? Oh, sorry.
Okay, the MIT, I was wondering about the industries involved in the MIT programs. For example, MIT is Michigan Institute of Technology. Massachusetts, I'm sorry.
Same thing.
Don't do it. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. You'd be surprised how many people don't know what MIT is.
Is it technology the main thing there, or?
So the institute was founded as an engineering school back a long time ago, and so that's what they're known for: technology, engineering. That's what it's very well known for. The business school, we've had business education for 100 years. Just this year, it's the 100th anniversary of the business education at MIT. So Alfred P. Sloan, who was the CEO of one of the big motor companies and manufacturing, created the business course, the business school at MIT because he just thought it was natural for engineers and business people to work together. And if you look at the 100K every year, the winners are a combination of engineering and business school students. But we attract a lot of engineers because they're housed at MIT, but it's not a requirement at all.
What about businesses in other industries like agriculture or healthcare?
Yes, there's all that opportunity at Sloan. I mean, people graduating, there's a smaller subset of people going into that. Healthcare, pharma, consulting, banking are like what people are going into when they graduate, but then there's a lot of people, there's people doing everything because there's so many companies coming to campus for a group. And it's really up to you what you want to focus on because you're designing your curriculum.
Okay, thanks.
So with that, we will bore you no longer. I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions individually if you have any, but thank you very much for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be here and see all of you in your facilities. I'm being honest, if you ever have questions about anything, whether it's MIT related or just studying in the United States related, I'm happy to help in any way I can. My email is jcarbone@mit.edu, pretty simple. So feel free to reach out anytime. There's a lot of great opportunities for you all over the world, Europe, Asia. I mean, there's a lot of great schools, and they're all a bit different and all have a bit different requirements. So keep that in mind when you're looking. But thanks again for coming. Appreciate it.